this is a heavyweight special. And we caught up with somebody this week that again, has a great history with Tyson Fury, going back to the amateur days. He's just announced his retirement ahead of the Liverpool show at the weekend. He had a great career, maybe didn't pan out the way he would have wanted to, but we caught up with the big man himself, Big David Price.
Yeah, now's the right time, Dom. And like you said, it's as you start getting towards your mid-30s anyway, for me personally, I was starting to look at maybe the exit route, at what point I was going to get out. Because, you know, it's human nature, isn't it? You're not getting any younger. It's getting more difficult to recover in training sessions. And obviously, once the COVID pandemic came in and there was lack of opportunities, it kind of forced me hands, really. But I was never far away from calling it quits anyway. Part of the reason was because after I'd lost to Derek Chisora, you know, the fights I was going to be involved in, there was not really any glory in them, so to speak. It was like filling cards. Obviously, a couple of wins might have got me back into a big fight, but you know, when you come to the realization that you're never going to be a world champion, or you're never going to be at the very top, you're fighting then just for the sake of fighting for money, and that's when it can become a bit of a problem. So it was the right time to call it quits.
That's good to hear, though, isn't it? That you're not fighting for money. You know, you're not going to just carry on for that, when so many fighters do that because they probably have to, and they don't have other options. Are you in a situation where, thankfully, you've got more out of boxing than it's taken out of you?
Yeah, exactly that. I kind of got out on my own terms because the last couple of years were great. I had big fights on big cards, and it was probably the most enjoyable period of my career. Obviously, I know I had a great spell when I was British and Commonwealth champion coming through, and I was being billed as the next big thing alongside Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and obviously it didn't pan out that way for me. But the last couple of years, it was like a bit of an Indian summer, so I was grateful for that, and that's one of the reasons why I could do it on my terms. There was a fight offer on the table to fight in Liverpool, and it wasn't a bad offer financially, but I didn't even want to know who they were thinking of as far as the opponent was concerned, because my mind was made up. I didn't even want to be even start considering it, because I once I'd made my decision, I thought I need to stick by it now and not look back, really.
You mentioned there that when you were coming through, and I think 2012 was a massive year for you when you were smashing everyone domestically, and that was when, you know, yourself and Tyson had turned over similar times. You'd had the amateur fight, you beat Tyson when you're amateurs, you went on to win gold, Commonwealth Games, Beijing. Obviously, we know you won bronze. So amateur-wise, you certainly came out better than him. Then pros, you're both doing the business. You were a little bit ahead of him, obviously. Again, some of the fights and some of the way you were taking care of domestic opponents was fantastic. And as you say, that rivalry was really simmering nicely. I mean, I remember some of the stuff that Tyson was coming out with to try and goad you. It was all getting crazy at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, it got a bit heavy at times, didn't it? But it was obviously, that was the way Tyson Fury was in them days, and he seemed to have settled down a little bit, but at that time he was a younger man and he was a bit immature, and he said some things which at the time rubbed me up the wrong way, rubbed other people up the wrong way, but my stance on it was that I stayed true to myself as a person, as a character, and I wanted to let me fist do the talking type of thing. You know, I'm more of a quiet man, so my response was, right, let me fist do the talking, and then I'll let him build the fight up all he wants, because it's only going to make it bigger and better for me, and I'm not having to waste the energy doing all the talk, the hype, the threatening, whatever was going on. We had a bit of back and forth, but I was mainly just trying to stay focused on the job in hand, and it was simmering nicely. It was about to happen, and then I lost to Tony Thompson. So it was frustrating. You know, it was around the corner, the Fury fight, and I lost that fight. And then everything that happened from then on in, you know, everything that could have went wrong type of thing. But it just weren't meant to be. That Tyson Fury fight in the professionals ranks anyway. In the amateurs, it happened. It would have been great if it could happen at any point in the pros, but my best chance to beat Tyson Fury, as I said, was when I'd just become British champion. Or at the time when I was mandatory challenger to his British title and he vacated the belt. That would have been my best opportunity to beat him, because he was breathless then, and I was flying. Like, confidence was up, believed everything I hit, I'd knock out, and that was the case. I was just blasting everything in front of me, and I think that would have been my best chance to do it.
We know that with a bit more luck, for reasons that we just said, and one thing or another, it could have turned out different, but you still achieved a lot. And again, you can look forward now. Is that the way you're approaching it all?
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got to, like I said, the way I'm looking at it, I've spent times over the years, you know, what went wrong here, what have I done this different, and if it was meant to happen, it would have happened. And it's not just one thing that stopped it from happening. It's probably been many small things leading to the result of a fight, and it's sport at the end of the day. And I've said it the other day, and we all aspire to be the very best in our chosen field, especially sportsmen. But the reality of it is, a very, very small percentage will go on to be the best, and that in heavyweight boxing, that's a small percentage again. To be the best, it's how many people are the best. One person, or one of maybe three people who people be arguing is the best. So you can aspire to be the best, but you can still be proud of your achievements, even if you didn't become the best. Number one is because you tried, and number two is because you contributed to the sport in your own way. Because without the likes of myself, who's fighting, you know, your Pevekins on the chief support of the AJ bill, you know, chief support fights like that, generating hype like I did when I was British and Commonwealth champion, generated a lot of interest in the sport, especially in Liverpool. And even though it was hype and it was excitement, and it didn't come to fruition, it still served a purpose, because it generated interest. So I am proud. Yeah, I am proud. Definitely proud of my achievements, and I've got to look at it that way, because if I didn't, I can't change anything. So that's it. You know, I've got to look back and be proud, and that's that.
Yeah, well, you were never, in fairness, you were never in a boring fight, were you?
No, but that was probably part of the problem. If they'd been a lot bit more cautious and used my size and me reach a little bit more, but that was never in me. I always when I was a younger man and be boxing in the gym, even on the GB squads and that, I used to fight like a smaller man, because I didn't want to be the stereotypical tall boxer keeping everything long, because I hated being the size I was when I was younger. Hated it. Because I just shot up out of nowhere. I'm an absolute giant, and it takes a while to become comfortable in your own skin type of thing. So I used to think, I'm not boxing just like a tall man. I'll box. I'll show I can box short and mid range, and it was probably a bad idea, because once you set in your ways in boxing, it's difficult to break them. And over the years, as much as I tried to just be an expert long range boxer, it was just never in me to do that, especially for me size. Like, so it would have helped if it was, because boring fights probably would have equaled better results. You know, so yeah, it was entertaining fights every time, I suppose. Every fight I lost, even barring the Tepper fight, I had the opponent wobbled or on the floor. So that's entertainment, as the Jam said.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, plenty to be proud about anyway. But when you now look at, and you are linked with fighters still, active, and obviously the likes of Fury and people Chisora and all these guys, even Dave Allen, that you handed a boxing lesson to, in fairness, in recent memory, and they're still knocking about. Obviously, they're still trying to get right at the elite, but the elite now is Tyson Fury, again, a man who's you're going to be linked with him. You were linked with him, as we've spoken about, and again, that was a crazy performance, wasn't it? And the heavyweight division now, with him top of the tree, no doubt about it. It's a fascinating division, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible now. It was always going to be the case when the Klitschko's come to the end of their reign. There was going to be a void which needed to be filled, and there was going to be that group of young heavyweights waiting to fill it, and that was going to create competition, but quality competition amongst each other. While we found out who was going to be the next in line type of thing, and that's proven to be the Gypsy King, hasn't it? That's proven to be Fury. Now he's the gaffer, and now you've got to have, again, just under that, everyone jostling for position to get the opportunity to face him. Now what we're going to have to see from Fury now is, aside from the AJ fight, and obviously Usyk, it's always politics, but if he's going to keep busy and keep active, we're going to need to see him go from these trilogy fights with Deontay Wilder, which were massive and will have given massive satisfaction, massive fire in the belly when he's in training, to just going about his job in a professional manner and taking on all comers, and because that may be the case where he just have to face another from Germany or whoever it may be. So that might be the case with Fury, but so we might have to see his professionalism on that side, because it's going to take time before the AJ or the Usyk fight can take place, I think.
Now, again, obviously Josh is someone you've sparred Josh, and famously, I think you dealt with him very well in sparring, so to speak. And again, when you look at it now, is it anyone that can take the crown off Fury? I mean, Usyk has 3 of the belts. Is he the major challenge now for Fury? And if so, how does that pan out?
Yeah, it probably is the major challenge. The only thing with Usyk, which Fury can do what AJ couldn't do, and that was use his size and his weight to his advantage. And Tyson Fury's fights in an unconventional manner. So whereas Usyk's fighting AJ, who's been schooled by GB boxing, and it's all textbook stuff, everything about his boxing's textbook, and it's brilliant, by the way. But that's exactly what Alexander Usyk's used to from the amateur days, the Olympic style boxing. What Tyson Fury brings is a completely different, unique style to the table, where he's throwing punches from angles that you don't really get taught. Clubbing short punches down the back of the ear. He knows how to fight dirty. He knows how to lean on you, stick his hand in your face. So many subtle little things. If you're watching slow motion against Deontay Wilder when he's had him hurt, and he's almost doing it on instinct, because it's just in him to do that. Some of these things you can't be taught. I think that's where Usyk will come unstuck against Fury, because look at Derek Chisora. Again, he's not your typical stand-up, old-school style boxer. Derek's got a bit of a different way, a lot more rugged. Now, I think Tyson Fury is more rugged than Derek Chisora, only taller, and it's them long arms. He looks like he's miles away, but they seem to reach the opponent's head. So I think, although it would be an interesting fight, I think we'd see Fury maul him.
Yeah, Fury, it doesn't matter whether he's 20 stone, 25 stone, a bit lighter. It looks like he can just fight every day of the year, doesn't he? I mean, it's just incredible.
It's crazy. It's almost superhuman. Yeah. Like the pace that fight was fought at on Saturday. He's such a natural fighter that, in that ring, he's so comfortable. Look at AJ after the Usyk fight. He had to sit on a stool for 5 minutes or whatever it was till they announced the decision. Obviously, he knew he'd lost, so that probably had something to do with it. But Fury, he fought at a higher pace than that, and he was in a nightclub straight after it with his top off, dancing on a stage and all that. And I don't know where he gets his energy. It's crazy. It looks like he just do it all day, and he can do that whether he's 19 stone 7 or 18 stone 7, because he's used to carrying the weight on that big frame. Whereas Wilder wasn't used to carrying that extra weight, and it didn't do him any favours. But I don't think it mattered anyway what he weighed in at.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you then? Anyway, now that the gloves are gone now, so to speak, but you're going to stay within the sport, I would imagine, in some way, shape, or form. So, what do you fancy doing?
Do you know what? I've got no intention of training fighters or managing, but I like to pass advice on, or just to be involved around the gym. Just keep going back in the gym with Joe McNally and Declan. They're training Liam Smith, who won at the weekend, and he was my trainer, Joe McNally, for the last 2 years of my career, and done a great job. And so I like to think I'm still part of the team in that circle. So I'll just go in and out the gym. I'll keep myself fit and training. And yeah, I don't really want to dwell too much on what's happened in the past and just move forward. So I've got a business set up myself, doing like building work, things like that. That's keep me occupied, keep me busy, which is massively important for a retired sportsman. You know, if you go from training and competing to sitting down doing nothing, sitting in cafes or whatever all day, you end up in a bit of a dark place. So I'm fortunate really, because I've got somewhere to focus my energies on, and that's what I want to do.
It looks fantastic where you are. You've got to give us a tour of that place. I know we're in your bar, so just show us around there, Dave. Before you go, show us around.
Go on, mate. Yeah, I got this bar put in this house. I bought this house 8 years ago, just after the second Tony Thompson fight, and I wanted a bar in it. So my mate Spencer Brown up in Blackpool, he's like a memorabilia dealer. He gave me a load of, you know Spencer, give me a load of signed memorabilia, Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. There's me. I don't know whether you can see that. That's me on the Ring magazine. That was in 2012. Look, it says Real Britannia, UK heavyweights poised to succeed Klitschko's, and I'm at the forefront, which didn't work out. He got there, didn't he? The big fella at the back, but well done to him. Mike Tyson. There's myself with the British and Commonwealth, and all the old fighters: Carmen Basilio, Jake LaMotta, Sir Henry, Reuben Carter. Who's that one? Gene Fulmer, and that's a prop off a stage, like a stage play that me and Tony Bellew's shirts were on a washing line while Liverpool and Everton fans argued that over the footy, and they give me that in the frame. So yeah, so that's my little bar there. And me tell you, there's the centrepiece at the minute. There's the European Cup winners' medal, Super Cup, World Club Cup, and the Premier League when Liverpool had that great season. Yeah, so this is me cave, yeah.
Well, big David Price there, who should be very proud of his career, and it's a great little man cave he's got there as well. So, again, all things going forward for him. We wish him all the very best. What a character, what a lovely guy he is.
Genuinely, Dom, David Price is one of the best people I've met in boxing, right from the amateurs. I always remember how it was on, like, you know, the England camps, the GB camps, how he was with every lad. Great lad, and listen, an unbelievable career. Listen, he didn't get that world title as a professional, but it was an unbelievable career, an Olympic medal. He still had some great nights as a professional, and I think he could be here all day. There was some of the fights he lost. Whether their opponent should have been in the ring or not is another thing, but save that for another day, as long as it is. But no, great guy. And listen, obviously knew the big man very well. I was there the night he boxed Tyson Fury at the Women's Forum. So, and there was a time in the career where David Price was seen as the heir to the throne. Like I say, a very dangerous heavyweight.
Certainly is, yeah, certainly was. And as you say, yeah, Again, look at the draw, rub of the green, things could have been very different. But anyway, he's content and he moves on forward with his life, and he's got his health and his family, and we wish him all the very, very best.